Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you all are having a wonderful day today. I started to water some of my bark orchids this morning, and little buddy decided he needs to eat breakfast. So this is how he tells me he needs to eat breakfast and he needs my full attention. Yeah, I need to be fed, Mom. You don't need to be watering orchids yet. So this is what we do every morning before I work in my orchids. So, okay, let's go and water some orchids in bark today. So here are two that are in bloom that I'm going to be watering today. I'm going to be using some CalMag and some Epsom salts today. And several of you have asked me how I do that, so I thought I'd give you the recipe for my CalMag and Epsom salts. And this is what I use. I use about 50 parts per million of CalMag. That's about 20 drops per gallon. And I use a pinch of Epsom salts, just about 20 parts per million. As you can see, this is a quarter of a teaspoon. So this is just a few little granules of extra Epsom salts. So I put all this together in 1 gallon of water. Okay, so this orchid, this is Foul Marianne. She's this huge foul. And this one is in the Better Gro orchid mix. So I'm just going to saturate the bark thoroughly until I can see the water coming out the bottom of these holes. Many of you have asked me, do I soak them in this mixture for, any amount of time? In the winter, I don't. They'll get too wet if I leave them setting in a mixture in the wintertime while they're in media. But in the summertime, I might let them set for maybe just a few minutes before I drain it. But this one is hydrating well, I can tell. By a few minutes, I mean at the most maybe 5 minutes. That's usually about the time that it takes them to really hydrate in the bark. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just get this other one. This is my beautiful pink twilight foul. I'm going to do the same thing here. Now let me show you how I know. Do you see how the roots are silvery here? That's how I know this one needs to be watered. This is in the Better Gro bark as well, and I'm going to show you. It runs through this bark very quickly. But I just want to make sure that all those roots turn green when I water. I water these usually about every 5 to 7 days. It just depends on what our weather's been like. We've had a lot of rain for the past few weeks. So I've noticed my watering schedule has slowed down a little bit. There's just so much moisture in the air. There they go. I'm going to let this set for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to drain that water off. Okay, and these are the next two that I'm going to water, and I'm going to fertilize these as well. These have different needs. This is my beautiful Hilo Pink, and it is coming out of bloom. You can see there's a flower that's wilting right here, but this one has been in full bloom since at least February 1st. Okay, and this one is my beautiful Magic Art. It has just come out of bloom. And let me give you a close-up of what's going on with these two orchids. Okay, we have a new leaf starting, and I can also tell that there is some new root growth in this one. And also let me show you with Magic Art. This is Magic Art, and here's the new leaf starting on this one. And do you see the new root tips growing right here? So I need to fertilize this one. Actually, these two need to be fertilized today. Both of these are in Orchiata bark, and what I have learned about Orchiata bark is it does drain a little bit slower. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm using to fertilize these today. Okay, so today I'm going to be using 1/8 of a teaspoon. That's about 150 parts per million of the Better Gro Orchid Plus, and that same pinch of Epsom salts per gallon of water. And at this stage, while they're growing, while they're in active growth, the first time that I water them this week, I'll use this. The next time I water, I will use the CalMag and Epsom salts solution. And I just keep alternating these two things while they're in active growth. Okay, so I'm going to fertilize these, thoroughly drench this bark. Okay, I don't like to let this sit in the Orchiata bark much because this is going to drain over about the next 15 minutes. I'm going to notice I need to go back and drain it again. For some reason, I believe it's because the Orchiata bark, this is the medium size, and it's just smaller, so it probably takes longer for it to drain. Okay, there's that one. Here's my beautiful magic art. I'm just so glad to see all this growth. I want to make sure I give it some good fertilizer to make that growth good and strong. Oh no, that drained pretty quickly. You can do this over the sink, but I do like to save back my fertilizer water. I'll use it in my garden. Oh, there's another root tip on this side as well. That's great. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to get all that bark drenched. Okay. So these are good to go. These I will water every 5 to 7 days. I will just keep an eye on the roots to see when they turn silvery. That's when I know that they need to be watered. Okay. So that's a wrap, and you all just have a highly favored, deeply loved, and greatly blessed day. And we'll talk to you again soon.